Sexy man.
Yeah, it's me. Are we live?
I think you're live.
Well, it's a repeat of the live.
I think you're live.
And this is the sexy man.
All right, sexy man. So we're gonna try that again. And I believe.
Welcome everybody. We're here. Oh yeah, this is the right way. And the lighting is better. Everything is looking
Fantastic.
much better.
So we're gonna reboot. We disappeared the last version of this. If you're just joining us, we are rebooting the live.
Yeah.
All right.
So we have. See, they're saying better. Yes.
All right. So good evening, good afternoon, good morning, whatever time you're watching this. Welcome to Island Origins Live. I am Calibe. This is
The sexy man.
and our guest for the evening is
Joe.
Just Joe.
Just Joe.
All right, so as you know, we're changing the format of the show a little bit. So we are going from our traditional this week only because we have a guest next week.
Right. We're gonna have a lot of guests coming up again.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Jackie. I thought we had Denise Grant.
That's not next week.
Oh, it's
We'll work.
All right.
We'll work on the technical.
All right.
But we're getting back into regular mode hopefully by next week. But for now, we want to run with this hot topics kind of vibe because it was kind of fun last week, and you know, just getting the audience interaction is always very important. We want to hear what you guys have to say. So we are going to start off with. Do you want to start with sports?
Yeah, let's start with sports.
Okay.
I like to talk about sports. So here's the thing. During this past week, I went to a couple of events, and people definitively told me that they loved that we were just having these really interesting topics that people actually want to talk about instead of the pre-program shows that we typically had, which could be of interest to some and not to all. But these kind of topics resonates with a lot more people. So I'm asking you guys to prove this true by actually sharing the live so other people can join us. And I want to challenge you now. There are now only 8 teams left in the World Cup. So we're going to start with the World Cup. Of the 8 teams that remain, who do you pick to win it all? So let's start there. I'm going to tell you that for me,
I choose Brazil.
all right.
Are they still in it?
Yes, they're still.
Oh my god! That was a total guess, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Goal! Is that right?
Right. Yeah, that's the right place to say
Okay.
yeah. So today's matches, we had England winning the last match, which I'm disappointed because I wanted Colombia.
I was disappointed as well.
Yeah. But here's the thing. So in the earlier match, Sweden beat Switzerland. Whatever. No, for real. Like it's
You sound a little salty there. Didn't you?
No, I actually picked Sweden to win the match, but
Okay.
I'm like, but who wants either Sweden or Switzerland to win the World Cup? Let's be real.
They can win a match. No hate.
Yeah, we're down to the last 8.
Oh.
There's no time for just win a match now. This is like the real deal.
Alright.
So okay, so people, are you checking to see who people are saying? I want to know, who do you want to win? So to me, I think there's only like 2 teams I really would want to win. Well, actually, I guess the third, since there is an African nature, is what they call it, Frafrica, or how is the France team with 14 African players on it?
What is
What
You said for Africa?
I don't know if it's, what do you call France, is the team in the World Cup this year? So people, if you have a name for France's World Cup team that is it 15 or is it 14 of the players were either born or descendants of African nations? Do we call it France or do we call it Frafrica? Or is it just Africa North? I don't know. What do we call that? So
I can hear the colonizers crying.
alright, so to me it's gotta be either Brazil, Uruguay, or if we have to pick a third team, Frafrica.
for Africa?
Well, France, if you want to call it France. They're registered in the World Cup as France. But
Okay.
they're like Frafrica.
Okay. If those are the
Africa
options,
North.
I vote for Africa.
Alright.
I just like the name.
You just pick Brazil. Oh, you like the name.
I like the name better than Brazil. Like that's.
Got you. I know a young guy, Mbappe. I guess somebody said.
I love his name.
Right.
So,
And he's a 19-year-old
I choose
superstar.
Mbappe.
Yes, and he single-handedly created a defeat for Argentina with Messi because France beat Argentina in the last match. So Africa North or Africa North.
For Africa and Mbappe.
I like
So I see our host is leaving the set.
I'm sorry.
So it's gonna leave. See, look, we're the brown people.
I'm telling you.
We're so Joe and Sexy Man are holding it down for 30 seconds till
Just 30 seconds.
till Miss Africa comes back on set.
Mbappe, I'm Mrs. Mbappe.
I want people to realize that Calibe has her hair down today. What I want locks out the door.
Because I have the whole
This is the first
wrap
time
up
I've seen
hair.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, look.
It's not usually, it's usually up on top
Yeah,
because
it's
it's
up in a
heavy
crown.
and it, you know,
You know, the
sometimes
queen have
it's,
to wear her crown.
you gotta wear your crown, but sometimes like you're sleeping or you're walking around and you feel, oh, there's a spider on me or something. So I have to control it a little bit.
Alright, so for real though, what
Yes.
are people saying?
Okay,
Who
so-
have you picked? Is it France? Is it Uruguay or Brazil? The rest of them don't really matter much. Or unless they're your country. If you
Did
support
Argentina
another
win
team,
something?
no.
Did,
They
oh,
won-
Japan and Belgium. I know one.
My
Japan
favorite.
and Belgium.
But
You know-
Belgium is Japan is out now. Just in
Yeah.
case.
Well, I heard that.
Right, okay.
I heard that part.
Yeah.
So Belgium.
Belgium are a wicked come from behind.
I read
That was a good game to watch.
Yeah, excitement galore. No, but a lot of exciting games, you know.
Good
Mm.
game to
A
watch.
lot of, I've been inviting people, so I hope everybody I've invited has joined us. So tell us, what are the comments? Who is people picking? Anybody?
People are asking what's for dinner.
Oh my gosh, for dinner.
Oh, right. I forgot to get that.
Island Origins magazine is for dinner.
There's
You
a
see,
recipe section
you
in
can,
the
you
back.
can open it up, get your recipe, and
Mm.
cook up something nice. Look for your
And-
magazine.
And invite us over for it too.
For real.
Okay,
We've
so
been doing some eating.
yes, we could.
Alright, so nobody's responding to the World Cup. I'm
No.
disappointed. Let's move on.
No,
Next
all right,
topic.
no, we have 10 minutes on sports. So
Oh,
no, we have 2 minutes on sports.
So
That's
we've
it.
got 2 minutes on sports. For all the people who in Miami love LeBron, or people in Miami who used to love LeBron, know that he has gone back from his home team. He's no longer with the Cavs, and he's gone to LA to make movies or to do his entertainment company. Or what is he doing in LA? Because
He's
he's
going to play with the Lakers. I know
Do-
this
He's
one.
working on a biopic.
let's say this.
I'm joking.
Do we realize that LeBron is 33 and that means that his career is essentially over? Because you really,
Well, he's still getting 100 odd million for 3 years.
He,
so
154 million. He could have got 200 million if he stayed in
don't
Cleveland.
hate.
No, I'm not hating. He turned away money to go.
If he did, okay, he's a businessman, right?
Yes.
So
So
if he
he's gonna make
did
more
that,
money, yes.
yeah, if he did that, it's because it's a strategic
Endorsements and
reason.
Yeah.
Aside from the endorsements, he is into television production.
Yeah.
right,
He
absolutely. So,
produces his business TV show and his.
so here's the thing. The question to those people watching, do you like the move? Does it work for you, LeBron to LA? Does it work? And then secondarily, is it good for the NBA? So I want to know, A, does LeBron in LA work for you? It works for me because I don't care.
Excite me. I didn't
It
care.
don't- I don't care.
Didn't excite
And
me.
guess what? He have nobody with him really. So it's not like he's gonna win anything. This is just like he's gonna be there to be a great like third place or fourth place team.
Right,
So
right.
unless something great happens after this,
Right.
he alone is not changing them to being a championship contender.
I just kind of lackluster of a choice. to me.
I can't really speak on this topic.
Oh, it's okay, but our
Actually,
2 minutes might be up. Is it over? or
He's
is
got
that minutes?
kids to raise. Nery's saying he's got kids to raise. LA is a great place for progressive business. Kevin Wilson, we have read your comment. We're not ignoring you. We have a section for opinions in general. So Kevin says, as a gay Jamaican, I wonder when can the gay Jamaicans be accepted and not assaulted. We will come to that when we get
Oh
to
my
the
gosh, can I
opinion
talk about that
section.
right now?
Oh, goodness.
What's his name, Kevin? Kevin, let's talk, Bridget.
So we're going to opinions right now?
No, we'll go to it later.
Okay.
So Kevin, hold tight.
Stick a pin.
Hold tight.
You understand what I mean, right?
We're coming
hold
back.
is tight.
Gotcha.
Just keep holding.
Oh my God.
All right, we'll be there with you, Kevin. We're
Yeah,
gonna,
man, we're coming back to it, but we
let
kind
that
of
happen.
format, you know.
Yeah,
Even
yeah,
though
yeah.
we're free form, we keep it formatted.
Definitely.
So we're talking about LeBron and business a while ago.
Oh, yeah.
And I think let us have a talk about just, you know, because we have multiple interests in the world.
Definitely.
Business is one of ours.
Yes.
So we were at this well, first of all, let's start with LeBron, right?
Yes. Let's dive into LeBron. Talk to me.
So he turned down 200 million, you said?
Well, if he stayed in Cleveland, he could have signed a bigger contract. So
Right.
he didn't turn anything down.
Right.
He left that to go to LA for this contract.
Right.
But LeBron is going to get max money wherever he goes. But when you re-sign with the home team that you've been playing for, there's a clause in the NBA, collective bargaining agreement that allows the players to sign for longer and for more money if they stay where they are. It's a kind of incentive so people don't do what LeBron is doing, switch.
That guy is making money hand over fist, whatever he's
Absolutely.
doing. So $30 million house and whatever. I don't think he has a. Do you have an opinion, Joe?
You see, in my honest opinion, I really don't care what LeBron wants to do. I really don't care. I've never cheered him on before. I'm not gonna cheer him on now.
What you say, Joe?
He's just making
Would
money.
you just marry one of his children for their money?
Why are you hating on LeBron, Joe?
I'm not hating on
You
LeBron.
sound like you're hating on
Hate
LeBron.
is a strong word.
I didn't say hate. I said hating.
Oh, clarification. Hating.
LeBron is a strong word.
Oh my God. You know what
I
though?
feel like he's gonna mark it off of whatever he does.
Yeah, man.
It doesn't matter
LeBron is gonna
where
be
he goes,
okay.
what he does, he's going to be
But
fine.
he's on the decline, even though he's still the best player in the NBA. When you're in your 30s,
You can tell by the ball pass.
yeah, it's when you're in your 30s, you don't have that much long to go. So this is
Is
the end.
Bosh still around? Does he still?
No, he's been out of the league. He is the same age as LeBron, and he's been out of the league for 2
He
3
had
years.
knee stuff. I remember.
No, he had blood clots. He had no knee problems.
That's awful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we were at this ICABA event last week,
That
and
was
I
fun.
thought
I like that.
it was this business event. So we're going on to business. My granny always said, never give up sure if you're unsure. Kevin, I don't think there's anything unsure about what LeBron is doing.
$4 million.
I'm
No.
saying he's sure of $154 million.
LeBron money, sure.
Plus,
For sure.
he has business endeavors. What I like about this guy is that he has apparently surrounded himself, so I hear, with people that he grew up with and who
That's
are as business savvy as he is sports savvy. And that makes a lot of sense to me. So we were in this ICABA event. ICABA is International Career and Business Alliance. And we saw people there like Dr. Golson and Krishna Prasad, who is the owner of the
Jamaica Talawas.
does he own the Talos or he owns Worldwide Sports Management, which manages the Talos? He owns the team?
He owns, well, you can put it any way you want, but he owns Jamaica Talawas. He owns a company that owns a team.
Okay, alright. So he owns the team. He's basically now not managing the Broward cricket stadium. He talks about having how many, thousands of multifamily units and whatever it is all over South Florida. He's like, yeah, I made my first million when I was 32.
Hallelujah.
And then
I love it, Joe.
no. Made my first million when I was 32, and when I made my first 10 million, it's just like, rain. Right?
Is that his motion when he said
No,
Yes,
he-
that's exactly what he
But
did.
she did not do that.
He did it just like this, right?
Krishna is a very soft-spoken. No,
He's very, very
no
soft-spoken.
money.
But in his
Nothing.
mind,
Oh,
I
in
could
his
see
mind. Yeah,
He's like, you people that worry about $50 for lunch, right? But just being in a room with people like that, right? It was him. It was Bernadette. I don't remember her last name. She owns a number of Golden Cross franchises. She used to own the Broward Times. She's like, oh yeah, we sold it for $1 million back in the being around these people doesn't make you feel good. You feel like you're just bathing in success, right? Was it me?
You want baby under success?
Yeah.
Oh.
I felt like that's why I'm wearing green today.
Nice.
I'm proud of you.
I'm attracting it to me. But what did you feel like being around that? Like the part that touched me was they had a number of people talking about when all of these people I believe are millionaires, right? They all carry themselves with the millionaire swag, and it felt like, or during the discussion, all of them talked about facing 3 years, 5 years when they had $1,000 and 5 children to feed with the $1,000 and they didn't know where the next dollar was coming from or whatever. And they're now is anybody ever at the pinnacle? But they were they're in a really good place, all of them.
Yeah. No, they're in a good place. Thanks, G. Thanks very much.
What was the part of that event that kind of connected with you?
Well, I'm a different kind of guy.
Yeah.
For me, what really connected with me is people. I love people, and I love my interactions with people.
Yeah,
And
you're
so,
good at socializing.
yeah, so what I really enjoyed about that particular event was that people who I had connected with before came and interacted with me and spoke about, knowing what I've been doing and recognizing that there were things that I approached them about that we should reconnect on.
Right.
And then I also really like that there were people who I've never met before who were familiar with our products and what we've been doing and said, hey, you know, I love what you're doing. I want to connect with you. There was one particular guy that really, really touched me. Is that he said that there's a black entrepreneur who has started essentially the competition for constant contact, but it's a black-owned business, and that they have solutions for us in what we're doing to stay in contact with, you know, our contacts and so on. I love hearing stories like that, where it's like this is a business that's funded and operational, and it's going to be a solution for business that we do, that I can actually know the people who are behind that.
Can I tell you something? So part of the activities that we do at our company, right? You hear things sometimes and they connect in your mind in a way that's just like, oh, you're so not that you're so dumb, but like, why don't these things connect, right? The point of being in business is to make money, and the way that you make money is sell services at a rate that is less than the money that you collect, so that there's a profit, and you know, just like little basic stuff like that. Even at that event, I was having a conversation with somebody this morning, and they were like, well, you know, your business is a solution for a number of people. You guys are marketing, you guys are, and do you present yourselves in a way that you can take advantage of? The same way that this person was able to share with you, this is what my business does, and this is how I can help your business. Are we actually doing that the right way? So you and I have been having that discussion for much of this week, and talking about how we activate the relationships that we already have to become more profitable and easy. You know, it's just being in a situation like this ICABA event that we were in last week, and hearing the stories of how people came out of their own rut and started to move forward to where they're actually profitable. Profitable is a beautiful word.
A beautiful word.
When you're profitable, you can be like Krishna Prasad. Just
Oh,
like, yeah, buddy.
I hope
All
Krishna gets to watch this one
Oh.
day.
I hope so. Audio very low, barely audible.
Oh no. Thanks
Oh,
for
no.
letting us know.
Okay. So I'm gonna go and step off the set again and see if we
mic us
can
up.
fix
Alright.
the
Khalid is
situation.
gonna mic us up.
But
So
you guys,
since my voice big already, let me just
Oh, Lord.
talk low. So hopefully, wherever the microphone is on this camera, because I can't actually see it, we're going to actually be just be present with you guys. So there have been some comments, and I keep hearing about this topic that Kevin has. And Kevin, I don't know your comment, because no matter how far back I go, I can't see your original comment.
he says, I am a gay Jamaican.
Where
He
is
wants
it?
to know.
Right, but I can't see
And
it.
how do you,
Exactly.
when are we gonna get to the point where gay Jamaicans are not?
Yeah, so I think that the answer for that, Kevin, is that we're in progress. I think definitively, without question, can tell you that I have seen that.
Leave it right there.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't want to see it on the screen.
all right, my apology.
Mm-hmm.
Is it?
I hear it, I feel like that answer lies in the youth in general.
It does lie in the youth,
It's the
but
turnover.
Oh, hey, April.
Hi.
Huh? And she's saying hi, Joe.
Yeah, because they're not, you know.
All right, guys, focus on the audience, please.
Right. No. So seriously though, Kevin, I think that it's in progress. While I understand that everyone who is an advocate for, an ally of, and so on, your specific community that you're speaking of would want to see it happen like this, I don't think that there's anything that we can have that requires cultural adaptation that's going to happen like this. So I believe that if, like Jojo said, it's happening with the youth. I think it's happening with everybody. The acceptance that you are seeking already exists at a certain generational level. So I think that it's just a matter of time. I don't think there's much that can be done to speed it up. I think it would be great if people who are more well connected, have greater influence, would speak out about it. They need to be brave and not expect that they'll be persecuted for it. But outside of that, the change is occurring. I don't think there's a lot. And here, someone a lot younger says that she sees it.
I see it. I see it in a way that a lot of young men in Jamaica now kind of associate themselves with each other. And it's not as aggressive in certain places as I've seen it before. It depends on, it's also where you position yourself to, if you can. Some people don't have that ability to position themselves around a different group of people with a different mindset to be more welcoming to them. But sometimes it is positioning. It's who you want to associate yourself with, the type of conversations you want to have with certain people to encourage them to want to advocate for you as well. Sometimes you're in an area where you can't blossom the way you'd like to, and you just have to get up and move. Have to keep moving.
Right. So, Kevin, I see your comment on what we were talking about. You're saying not just men, women too. The women are far more accepting and are far more accepted in Jamaica. There's no question that woman love is not as pursued as man love in Jamaica. So, while I agree with you saying, yeah, women too, but...
And that's generalized all over the world, actually.
Yeah, it is generalized all over the world, but since Jamaica gets a lot more of the pushback and it's definitely much more about the men. I agree it should be for everybody, but if we're going to address the greatest problem, it's definitely amongst the men. Miss Thompson, your thoughts?
I'm going to say congratulations to my friend Sandra, who actually just got married to her wife, just a year ago, but I haven't spoken to her for a long time, so she's just still sharing this with me. Still fresh, yes. She lives here now, her wife lives in Jamaica. And she told me about a beautiful love story between the two of them that, has culminated in this marriage, and she's very happy. And apparently there is a very strong gay community in Jamaica.
Has always been.
Right. And, to me, Jamaica is just, that whole... I think we're a very religious society in that country, and religion a lot of the time means you don't accept things that you don't understand or you don't know about or you're not comfortable with. I don't want to knock religion to glorify, I don't think it's one or the other, but at the same time, I'm going to use this to segue to politics shortly, right? But it's the same way that you see the Christian right in this country using or standing on a pedestal of religion, yet still persecuting immigrants, just all over without any kind of reservation.
Because I think you associate your religious traditions with being in the structure, and it's hard to weasel out of
I think tradition may be better than religion when we talk about how people think about certain things and address certain things. So tradition says this is not right and that is right, or we should go this way and not that way. And so, whether it is with the politics of immigration or the politics of homosexuality and what people feel like is acceptable in their own communities, things on time. Things on time.
Yeah, but then, I think people get more aggressive when you tell them, just wait on the time. A man can sit down with a motive and do nothing and nothing happens.
Right.
So that's where the frustration comes from for most people when they want to see more things happening for them, especially in the gay community in Jamaica. There is nothing being done for them.
Right. Hold on. What do you mean by nothing?
No, as in some of them feel that they're not represented. They don't feel represented. They don't feel like people are talking about it enough. So that passiveness that comes with telling someone, wait, your time is coming.
Right.
Okay, but
that's an information mismatch though, because things are happening. There are huge advocates. There are things.
It's just in certain communities they don't see.
They don't see it, but it doesn't mean it's not happening. So, like I said, that's an information mismatch. Like people need to get information that things are happening. There are strong advocates who are doing loads of work to move, which is why it's moving.
It is.
But not everybody knows what's going on. It depends on what is your access to the information.
Can I ask a question? So when like Vibes started like bleach out and wear the tight up pants and stuff, is he like coming out in doing that kind of stuff, or
No,
is that just
he's not coming out at all.
No, but
Definitely is not coming out.
Is that him saying that okay, so I don't know that a whole lot of gay people do that either. Let me rewind that a little bit. But no, but it's I shouldn't.
I'm sorry.
Excuse me.
No, but it's just this whole like there's
Somebody's calling me.
I'm not gonna get in trouble for that. I'm not gonna get in trouble for that. But no, just the whole like there's a perception that certain things are more effeminate as a man to do.
But yeah,
everything is perception in the world.
Yeah,
true. Everything is.
When a man does this, you automatically go to okay, he is embracing a feminine side and whatever it is. And the gay gentlemen that I used to work with at work would do this all the time. Like, oh, girlfriend, you know, there's an affectation. Is that a word? I don't know. There's a yeah.
There's a certain effect that takes.
Now my phone is blowing up in my
in-
pocket. I'm not even going to look.
That is also I feel.
I don't know if there's a hit out for this building. My phone is
I
ringing.
just feel like it's quite negative to want to personify certain actions as feminine and masculine. It's natural to do that. We all do that.
We do
you
it,
know,
but it's
walk and
so
talk. That's
wrong.
what it is, but it's
so
wrong. So to even say that the way someone would, you know, that's like saying a man in a pink shirt, he's low key trying to tell me.
I don't think so.
It's
But so here's the thing. No, but
Yeah.
Philippe, I'm on that point.
Yeah.
When I was a younger man,
Yes.
I remember when a gentleman who only talked about woman and advocating for stabbing out the punani and all these types of things.
Yes.
A gentleman by the name of Shabarans, who is the most, hetero prolific speaker of his lyric and, love punani bad, and every
Right.
song was this.
Right.
When you saw him on stage, everybody said, "What hold on a second. This man I wear some pants that look like skirt and him a do," because he was a star and he was setting a trend and he was doing things differently. It was easy to say, look, that look gay because it's not normal.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean it's gay just because it's not normal. Like when Vibes Cartel
Yes.
is bleaching and doing these things, it's not our norm, but it doesn't make it now gay.
Yeah.
There's a significant difference to when I'm doing something that's outside of the norm, then it just becoming, well, if it's not normal, it's that.
I don't even think it's a matter of outside of the norm.
You say you just associate it with a type of feminism?
Because it's a thing that I grew up seeing girls do. Yeah, girls bleach their face in Jamaica and wear powder in their neck.
In this time,
yeah.
the guys are doing it too.
Well, I realize that, but that's why I'm asking. That's why I'm asking the
No,
question.
yeah, it's not a effeminate thing.
No.
It's
Even
not
tight jeans. It's like saying
It's a style.
in Jamaica, a man in a skirt, that's not gonna work. But you go to Europe, you go to Scotland,
Man in a
kilts.
skirt,
That's the most
yeah.
masculine thing you could have on, traditionally. So it's all about perception. Like
Yeah,
you
man.
said.
For real.
All right, so on to the next topic now. So, oh wait, that was our social stuff. Before we move on from the just general opinions on what people are doing with their lives and stuff, I read this article about a man in North Carolina that killed his wife because here's the reasoning now. She was 60 or 70 or whatever, and she had started developing dementia. So my question is,
Okay.
he wanted to prevent her from going into an old age home, or what do you call it, assisted living facility, because he said, what were the words? She would have to live like a caged animal. So he killed her for mercy, or mercy suicide, or whatever the situation
Did he
is.
kill himself too?
No, he did not.
He's
He
not living in a
waited.
cage now.
He held her and waited until she passed, and then he called the police and said, "I killed my wife because." So he's now being he what do you call it? He pled guilty to manslaughter or something like that. But
Doesn't he know how to live in a cage?
I guess so.
It is that is very different. You see those things? They're rather interesting because a mercy kill. It's like having a grandfather that is suffering, and you're like, okay, but he's hanging on, he's
Right.
there, he's doing it, and you're just like, can we just put him out of his misery?
Right.
If you don't have a kind of contract or understanding with that person, because I know people that have that written, like to say, if I can't get up and use the bathroom myself, or things like that, if I reach that point where I'm a vegetable, end me. It's not for me.
But there's a difference between
But if you
having
don't have
something
that,
written away saying,
not even
I don't want,
written.
I don't want to live on a life support.
Yeah,
But
if you don't have
having
that,
dementia is completely different than life support.
Dementia is not. There's a line. It's like, this is not irrelevant, but I watched The Notebook. Sorry, I watched The Notebook probably like 6 times last week because my TV was stuck on it. And
What a problem.
The Notebook. The premise is that he goes to her nursing home, and he moved into the nursery room, and he reads the story of their love over and over and over to her until she
That's so
remembers it.
beautiful.
That's really what the premise of The Notebook is.
Right.
Now this man could have just end it because she can't remember him. She doesn't know her kids, and she's living in this nursing home like a cage animal.
Kids, I
You
know.
can't.
Yeah.
That's not. You can't dictate how a person would survive beyond dementia.
And I don't know if you can qualify somebody's quality of life in
Yeah.
your body. You gotta get inside their body. So I don't know.
It's a mercy killing for him, but in a
Yeah, but
sense, where it's not his
was she
right to
asking
judge that.
him?
That's
That's
the
the
detail.
thing.
That's the detail that I don't know. So I don't know if
Yeah.
it's a matter of
It's a
she couldn't
very
control her
important-
bodily functions, or she,
There's that important
somebody's
detail that we need
cleaning
to
you
know.
up and that kind of thing.
That
Like,
doesn't even dictate that, because you have people that are paralyzed that they're not gonna say, oh, just end me because I
Yeah.
can't go.
Or people who have to live
Yeah,
in
people
a
are born
wheelchair.
that
People are,
way,
exactly.
People
I
are born
kinda
that way
would-
and they can go on. So she's what, 60 in her 60s?
I don't know the age. I don't remember the age.
And I know this may be inappropriate, but
Yeah.
I have got to say, did she have an opportunity to still have orgasms? Because maybe there
Or
was
on
still some.
Jamaicans.com.
Oh, they don't have orgasms.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't
I
know.
apologize, Jamaicans.
Xavier, I'm so sorry. I
But
tried
I
to
think-
edit him, but
I
it's
see where you're
impossible.
going.
I'm just saying that there are things in life you can still enjoy even with dementia.
I'm not,
Dementia is not the end.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Dementia is not the end.
I don't think that
So
that's.
unless-
I don't think you
I'm
should
not
have said
saying
that.
no, but for me, there are circumstances in which I wouldn't want to
I'm
be
gonna
around
ask you a
anymore.
personal question. Would you kill your husband if you got dementia?
If he said, I don't want to live anymore, push me off a cliff, or,
And
send
then
me
you
to...
just
So you would choose to go to prison.
No, I'm not going
Okay.
to prison. However, it would happen. I would not be going to prison. Like, if I gotta call somebody, I know something out.
And
But
that
if
would
I
send
love
you
you,
to prison.
if I love you, homie, I'll make it happen. No, but for me, like, there are circumstances where I would not want to be around
There are
anymore.
too many lines there. And I personally feel like if there was nothing communicated that way from her, that line was crossed.
Man must a idiot. Him a kill him wife. Him fool. Just leave. Don't kill
No,
her.
but here's the thing.
But
If you,
that's love, man.
that's a real thing though. If you love somebody and they say to you, because I don't know their exact situation, but if my husband said to me, if you love me and you see me walking around, don't let me continue in that way. That's not why I have dignity, and people are not dignity. or
I'm
whatever.
joking around about it, but I have personally had that thought before. I've said that before. I said, listen, I'm not saying I'm gonna die young, people, but if I reach a point in my life where I can't talk, I can't really, just end me, because it's not life to live. But then that's my personal.
But that's the thing. It
And
has to
that's
be
your
a personal.
perspective today. Who knows when you're in that position? If
Yeah,
you're
but
going to feel
exactly
that way.
so. But if I haven't written that down, if that's not communicated in some
Right.
way,
But
we
even
don't
if
know
you
if
do
she
write it
said.
down, even if you write it down, it may not be
I
how you
know.
feel when you're in that situation.
Where did this happen? In Cleveland?
North Carolina,
North
somewhere like
Carolina.
that.
They have
Cleveland.
different.
For me, right?
They
Like
have
there.
different laws. Sometimes those.
No, we're not even talking about law. We're just talking about what you feel like as a human person.
I feel like it's that's the love of your life. That's your wife, but it's still not really your choice.
For me, like there's someone I know who is very old. He doesn't have money coming in. He didn't save for his retirement. He has no friends. He has no wife, nor husband, nor children. I mean, all he does all day long is call his family. Oh my God, nobody loves me. I have no money. And
Well,
I'm
if he
like,
actually
you
can
know,
get people on the phone, he has people.
no, but here's the
Because
thing
if
for
you
me.
had
That's
nobody.
just sad. It's more
If-
of a teething laugh.
No, it's very,
It's
it's
like, how do you dictate how long your life is, even in misery?
But that's what I'm saying to you. If I'm at that level of misery, I feel like I cannot connect with other humans. And I don't mean pick up the phone and bawl to them. But if I feel like I have no human connection, I have nobody to lean upon, I'm just miserable,
Right.
I'm not sticking around.
Okay.
I'm not gonna
So
just-
can
I'm
you
not
go?
gonna
You
walk.
see that though? That's the thing. You would walk off the cliff, or you would
Right.
drive your car out.
Right.
Why is somebody doing that for you? It's not like she was in a situation where she was disabled and she couldn't move. He took her life. He should have allowed her to take her own life.
Okay, so again, caveat, maybe they had that discussion. Maybe the
Pause
discussion
for
was
pause.
dignity, blah, blah, blah. I
Not
don't know.
justifying suicide in any
Oh
form.
no.
I just
no.
said
Definitely not.
I don't know.
No, I'm not justifying suicide. But I think it's better than murder.
Yeah.
Let me just be clear.
Yes, it's
I'm
a
not
double.
justifying. I'm just saying like
Yeah.
it's really. I think it's fool when
Right.
you kill somebody
Right.
and confess, because yes, you've put that person out of misery so that you can now be in a
I
misery.
love you so much that I'm gonna spend the rest of my life in jail for you. After
That's
you're gone,
why
I'm
you
not even
ask the
around
question
to
if he
appreciate
put
it.
himself
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Because like it gotta be murder suicide. Because what is he doing?
That's some strong love there, I'll
Yeah.
tell you that.
Alright, so yeah, Kevin, thank you for bringing up that point of conversation. Latif, somebody's tuning in from Guyana.
Yeah, here in South
Pretty
America,
awesome.
Guyana. Love
Hey
that.
man. Annette, hello ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Hello ladies and hello Annette.
It's
Good-
actually
good-
sexy, man. But gentlemen is gonna work.
Sexy man. Sexy man. We didn't even talk about Serena. Alright. Are we
Was
going
sports?
into it was
Is she
sports.
pregnant?
Let's hope not, because we want the sport to continue. Alright, so do we want to talk about politics, immigration, or race? We're getting into the rough stuff.
Race,
No.
race.
Alright, so
You saying both?
two incidents this week, right? Two incidents this week. One of them, hashtag morning while black.
What was that?
Morning.
Hashtag, right? Morning while black. So apparently there's a black family that goes into a church to do their final rites for their mother. And because somebody accidentally knocked over the chalice that was in the church and broke it, white Mr. Pastor goes, get out! Get that thing out of the coffin, the casket, you know, with the person, the human person in there. Get that thing out of my church. All of you come out of my church while the funeral is going on. Hashtag
What kind of church?
morning while black.
What kind of church?
I didn't dig
church.
a racist one. Just an unconscionable one.
Yeah.
You see, if I had more information on that, because I hate being that person that goes racist. Like, I hate going.
So they're saying that they don't know if it was race either, but it was a white pastor and it was a black congregation doing
But no,
this.
let's actually say it wasn't racist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What other reason?
What is the reason?
Past-
You're gonna run them off? No.
Pastors just a douche? Like,
No, stop.
No,
Stop.
stop.
Think for a second.
If somebody came into your house.
My house is not my church. There's a
Yes,
com-
your
No,
church. If you are a
no,
pastor,
if I'm a pastor, it's
let's
not.
spend more time
It's
with
a house
your
of the
church.
Lord,
And
and you should be loving.
accidentally-
It's not like you come in there on purpose to do something.
That's-
They should be very, very, very caring and very accepting. And if something
You're right.
material gets lost,
You're right.
you should not care at all.
and I'm gonna tell you
There should
something
be
as
no
well.
care over material things in the church.
If somebody's in my
Maybe
house,
in my house.
having a funeral and
Where
blow-
they're mourning.
and splash something on my sting poster over there, I'm gonna cuss quietly. After everybody comes out and eat the fish and the bread and the
I guess you're right. It's
Throw them out of
It's
the
up to
whole
composure.
funeral.
That's sad. It's up to the composure.
Yeah.
But
I agree, Sean. Pastor, everybody I eat their food. You're right, they're there already. So
But you
let-
see, if it wasn't racist, I see where you're saying, composure. Fine, you're a pastor, you should have some
Yeah,
sense
you
of,
don't run people out of the
yeah,
church.
Like,
especially
not
when
out of
you're
the
there's
church.
no excuse, oh, maybe he woke up on the wrong side of the bed. Like, that
But
doesn't
you know,
work.
man is man, flesh
No,
is flesh.
no.
you
No,
know?
not when you're a pastor.
Absolutely not.
I
No, but
disagree.
I'm saying I can see that. I can see it happening.
Yeah.
I can see that happening.
I can't. I don't think it's okay.
I can. It's
not
not
okay.
okay,
It's
but
not
I
okay.
can see it.
Well, it happens. like,
Yeah.
alright.
So give us another case.
so the
of-
next
of
one,
race.
right? Black men. Wait, Verizon. Was it Verizon or T-Mobile? All right, let me not say the phone brand because I forget.
Sure not.
But one of them, I think it was T-Mobile, right?
No,
One of
no
them,
brand. No.
there's a store somewhere. Two black gentlemen go into the store to look at iPhones, not doing anything, not troubling anybody. And the store staff, including one who is a black person, calls, I don't know if they call security or the police or something. So the video that I see on the internet is of a young black man, I believe he was 23 years old. His baby mother and two children are in the car because they went and got a Slurpee. And this guy is outside the T-Mobile store crawling toward the police on his belly with his fingertips like that. Because the police didn't want to come out of wherever they were. So he had to crawl like along a long gangway, and when it's all said and done, no, we didn't think they were robbing the store or anything. We just called because they looked
suspicious.
Black. I don't know.
Look black.
Like
Yeah. So these stories require a little bit more information for us to go deep.
Yeah.
But all I can say is, this is in America. This is in America. Don't you see what's happening in America today?
I do see what's happening.
This is in America. I'm not surprised.
You said today.
No, I'm not surprised today.
We just have video cameras now.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Well, yeah. And then, flip side of that, a U.S. hunter is facing backlash and called a savage murderer.
Lock him up.
Over killing a black giraffe.
Lock him up. Lock him. Oh, where you gone all the way to Africa kill off giraffes?
No, I think it's awful that she killed the giraffe.
Oh, it's a sheep.
It's a sheep. I think it's awful that she killed the giraffe, but you come back home and there are black men being shot in the back, and then the police being kind of let off with a slap on the wrist, or the family not receiving restitution or no slap, but the woman is a savage murderer because she shot a giraffe.
Okay. Now, this is always intriguing.
Animal lover to here coming to this.
I'm an animal lover. Okay.
Hold on. But did the animal have to die for you?
No, it's a pattern. It's a pattern game.
Don't draw me out.
Don't draw your tongue. Yeah.
I can tell you, even hearing you say that, I can see predominantly is white people calling her a savage.
Of course.
Calling her a savage because she went and killed that animal. But I'm telling you, if she went and she just shot the man down the street that was waving at her, but she thought he was
then
her
he
mate,
must have had
she
it.
wasn't a savage. She was defending herself, and she's a single white female. I don't have time for it. I don't have tolerance for it. People see animals all the time. Oh, they're so cute. They're so helpless, and then they feel as though you're a savage if you hurt one. And what about people? It's just the heart isn't there for certain things. I saw a post the other day. They said they see an animal in a cage and they'll cry, but they see a Mexican in a cage and there's just no feelings.
Christian right. That's challenging for me.
It's
a lot of these people are the Christian right, and
I don't know if we should just limit it to Christian. I think it's the right. Some of them are not Christians.
no, that's I understand that, but when it is that it is somebody labeling themselves Christian, because I think it gives Christianity a bad rap, right? It does give, I remember walking into a supermarket and seeing a group of black girls on top of their voice and cursing and whatever, and I'm like, this is a set of black people that gives the black community a bad name because of how they were comporting themselves. When I see the Christian right, and a lot of them are the pastors and they're coming into our country and like trying to convince me that Jesus would be okay with how you're treating immigrants and stuff. Like
it says it in the Bible, clear. I wish I could remember to quote it. My Catholic mother is shaking her head right now. But there are many times in the Bible where it says that no matter where you are from, I'm just paraphrasing, your job is to spread the love of God and all His love to everyone. You're supposed to embrace, bring in, draw in. You're supposed to accept from the hill,
I love
the
all
river,
of that joke,
the cave.
but I don't want
naturally.
us to single out Christian.
No, I'm not singling out
No,
Christian.
but we are. We're talking
everyone.
about Christianity.
So if you're gonna
What
be
I'm
a
saying though is that we should be good and morally correct if we are
always
Muslim, Hindu, whatever it is that we are. Christian, whatever, we should be good, moral, and great citizens with other people. So I
Always.
understand what you're saying, but I want to raise the level and I want to raise the bar to be inclusive of all people, even those without a religion, should live good. They should have morals and they should care for people. So yes, I understand.
But
even in Christianity says to love all religions.
I think that is part of the challenge for me. I believe that the non-Christians and the Muslims and the people who have been otherized by a Christian majority in America, and again, I'm not casting this blanket across every single Christian, but I'm saying when you are part of that group, like I felt when I walked into the supermarket and saw these girls carrying on like that, I felt like, oh my gosh, I need to apologize to everybody because they're now kind of, justifying the stereotype that comes around my race and how people look at my race. And I feel like a lot of the time Christians are just like, oh well, that's not a real Christian. When people who call themselves Christian that behave this way, go ahead and behave this way. It's like, I just wash my hands of them and they're not.
I've seen that pan out many times. I've seen people that are not Christian or religiously affiliated in any way, but the nicest people I've ever met and just assume that they were Christian because of how they carry themselves. But your morality doesn't have anything. Morality has nothing necessarily to do with what denomination you are, what you praise, or it's just where your morals come from, where your ethics coming from.
And some of the nicest people in the world are atheists.
How do you love? And then you have to ask yourself why they're atheists. Right. Most atheists come from religious backgrounds, religious homes, and just chose, don't like this is hypocrisy. And then move on, but then move on with a shared sense of love. It has nothing to do with that. It's just that religious structure, as a Caribbean person, that's where I get most of my structure from. That's where I get most of my morals from. So just talking from that standpoint, I will see the girls in the supermarket, and I'm not gonna lie to you. I could goodly have been one of those girls in the supermarket. But I'm just saying.
I have been every now and again.
Because sometimes I'm with my friends, and when I was in high school, you walk into a supermarket and you get in something before you go home, and you're just brawling and you're loud, and you don't realize where you are and who's looking at you. Right. In America, I've come here and I've just muted myself because I'm like, okay, I light skin, but I ain't white. And this hair can't hide. Right. But
you could cut it out.
No, I could straighten it. I could straighten it, but this heat damage,
Yeah.
So, but I've seen those girls and I've never gone up to them and asked them to dilute or mute themselves. I just honestly sometimes smile at them. Sometimes the more grimace you get from a group of people is the more other people grimace at you. Sometimes people should see a group of, as long as they're not being destructive, and just smile at how happy they are. Like, they're in a supermarket, they're laughing and they're probably loud and they're probably giving jokes, but they're laughing and they're happy. How they express themselves should not be looked at as it's brawling, it's negative, as long as it's not aggressive.
When people are cursing on top of them, I don't know. All right, so we have some comments coming in. What I'm afraid of, black people not mad. Everyone should not own a gun. Agreed, 100%. There are a lot of smart, crazy people out there. Unless you're paid to keep the peace, otherwise no one needs to own guns. I completely agree with that. Sean is saying they are one day Christian. I'm gonna swing it back to sports for just a second, right? For just a second.
Oh, you got really excited there.
David got really excited because I don't do that, right?
Yeah, I'm more this teacher.
But no, in reading up for today's hot topics, I saw this story on Yahoo where the Japanese team lost the match yesterday.
Cleaned up the stadium,
cleaned up their locker room, and left a thank you note for the Russians in their state. And I listen to NPR. Sorry, I'm boring. Yeah. But they talked about a story on there where some guy went and was studying the Japanese culture, and that's what they do. Like at the end of the game, the losing team says, "Okay, well, thank you for playing with us," and they have this culture of just being appreciative and mannerable, as we would say in Jamaica, just well mannered and proper.
I'm gonna tell you, I get that culture. It is even more to be, brought to the forefront when they lost a heartbreaking World Cup game that they were leading 2-0 and they lost on a last second
What is that?
squeaker goal. It was literally in the last 3 or 5 seconds of the game that they lost. A heartbreaker, and then to clean up the stadium after that. No, them good.
I agree, April, NPR is great.
Okay.
Them people are good.
You couldn't do
I think I could have no way I could have imagined.
I know you couldn't do it.
I agree.
But I'm telling you, there's a sense of like Eastern cultures just have this sense of humility that I've noticed. Right? When I say Eastern, I don't mean just Asia. I mean like Africa beyond, even in Europe. They just have this different sense of humility that I admire a lot. You don't know sometimes if that's sarcasm, but it's genuinely just coming from a sense of.
I don't know that it's Eastern culture. I know that it's Japan because I know people from Africa and people from Europe and who do not have no kind of mild manneredness about them.
Yeah, they do.
But the Japanese as a culture, I would hear about. Was there like a tsunami or something? No, I'm talking about Japanese. I don't know about anybody else. I don't know if they had like a tsunami or earthquake or something the other day with the new. I don't remember.
It sounds like a tsunami.
It could have been a tsunami, whatever happened, or an earthquake or something. And although there was no food anywhere, you know, the conditions that Jamaica or America had been looting and shooting and whatever, and the people were standing up in lines waiting for food for how many ever days it was. Because that is their culture. And I think when we talk about, you know, how do we get people to accept the gay community, or how do we get people to stop with the guns, or what, it has to be a cultural shift. It has to be where, you know, we have a dictator who says everybody has manners and everybody gets out of the country. Like everybody say please and thank you, and everybody, you know, say grace before whatever the situation is. But there has to be some kind of very proper tyrant that comes over.
It's sad, but those are certain things that I feel like forgive me, it might not be correct, but they're just like people that I know, older people that I know would say.
She just called you an old man.
No, I call him young man all the time, but I felt like he
old
that
sexy.
one. He's been telling me how old he is.
Old sexy.
I don't mind.
That one. But they say that it's engraved. It's not something that is taught 10 years ago, 20. It's engraved. And like Western cultures are fairly new. I'm not saying that, don't give me a history lesson right now. But those sense of morals, they're just engraved in their culture.
I'm going to tell you something that I heard again on NPR, that with Japan specifically, when the Hiroshima and whatever, the war and all that stuff, right, which I don't know anything about history, but apparently for a generation or two, they programmed children, like they started teaching them how to behave in certain ways and how to think about treating each other and whatever from school level. Come up, yeah. And that is how a cultural shift happened. I can't imagine this current Japan getting into no war with nobody and bombing up a nuclear bomb and stuff because perhaps of how they changed their thinking.
They publicize it a certain way too in their media, their commercials. I mean, yes, they're very forward thinking in technology, but their morals and how they commercialize their media has a lot also to do with this new age maintaining that level. Because they have like a commercial that came out recently that you'll see them on Facebook. These are the stories of the kid that didn't have money to buy ice cream, so he robbed this, and then the store owner this, and then years later the man is in the hospital and this kid goes and buys him ice cream. He finds out that it's his nephew from this long time. They have those little things, but they're real. No, it's like a whirlwind of this community, this village that they have. They just treat each other that way, and that sense of community, no matter where they are, who they are. That's where you find, especially in Florida, you see one Asian person move into your community, don't worry, there will be more. Because that sense of community, they need it. They don't know each other,
right?
But they gravitate towards each other in that strong sense. And I wish more Black people did that. It's like,
I think we do.
In America, not.
I think I found myself at,
I
don't know if it was Wimbledon or whatever, some tennis match that was going on in Miami one at a time. And
I like that Wimbledon in Miami.
I don't know where Wimbledon is.
Like the All England club, but yes.
Whatever, some tennis, tennis.
Miami
Open, that's the one, right? Okay, I don't know if Wimbledon is the name of the match or the whatever. Anyway, I'm not a sports person, can you tell? So I'm walking in this place and it's like a stadium of white people. And you see the one black person.
It's that one chocolate chip. Yeah, that's right.
You did it.
Yeah, it's unspoken, but naturally.
And I'm walking like, why did I do that? And I see another black guy, I'm like, like you can't help it.
But it's natural. It's natural for things to do that. People do that. It's not even speaking on a race vibe. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yes, April, cultural brainwashing. I think it needs to happen in a positive sense. We need a dictator.
Such a negative word.
I don't care. We need a dictator. Hey, we're being slowly brainwashed. This country is being slowly brainwashed to think that Russia is great.
I don't know if that slow. Because since this new regime, things have been ramped up.
Conditioning is the word. Okay, if you don't like brainwashing, conditioning is no, but it's the reality of what we're going through right now. We're being desensitized. We're gonna go 3 minutes over because we started a little bit late.
So let's.
But we're gonna wrap it up. We didn't get to the Democratic Socialists and the redhead.
I'm glad we didn't do that.
I do want to point out though that we didn't get into politics today, but I do need for everyone to pay attention to what is going on. Where young people, old people, middle-aged, everybody of voting age in this country, even if you are not of voting age, if you know or have influence on people who are of voting age,
or if you're going to be of voting age later this year or next year,
or into it, whatever, as long as you are someone who lives in America or has any interest in someone, if you're watching from another country and you have interest in someone who lives in America or who may at some point in time, please remember that we are in the situation that we're in because so many people decided, number one, that they weren't going to vote, that their vote don't count, that they're going to throw their vote in the wrong direction because them don't like somebody here or email, just foolishness that allowed us to just dismiss a laundry list of things that are just basically evil and heinous because of some email or you don't like this woman or how she do whatever. So let's not really litigate that, but at the same time, pay attention to the fact that you need to vote. You need to encourage people to vote. It does not matter that it's not a presidential election.
August.
All votes count. I'm encouraging everyone watching to sign up for an absentee ballot. You can do it for this one election, even if you don't use it again. If you want to go into the polling place and vote instead of using it, you can bring the absentee ballot in, hand it in, whatever. This foolishness about, I'm afraid they're going to throw away my vote. It is not true. Many people vote with absentee ballot. I get mine in my house every time. No, it's not true. So don't.
People say that.
Don't even entertain it because it is said too often, and you kind of go, okay, well, let's not entertain that, right? My vote gets counted every time, and I get my ballot at my house, fill it out at my house. And they just auto send it like an auto whatever, right? Auto whatever.
And you can choose for all elections, or you can say just for the 4-year cycle or just this one.
But please, the election is coming up in November.
August,
sorry.
There is an election in November too.
But there's all kinds of elections.
But August 1st, please, everybody pay attention to what they call primary election before the general. We need to vote in August.
Yes, and we have one of our dear friends, Jackie Powell.
Dear friend.
Dear friend.
You know, who took that picture of Jackie Powell?
Oh God, we have the same last name. But no, we might be related.
You might be, but no, I did take the picture. Big up Jackie Powell. And I will tell you, her husband cooks an awesome macaroni and sausage. Trust me.
I think he needs to bring some.
I agree. Jackie Powell, if you're watching,
let
the husband know.
We would like
a macaroni and sausage on set. We would like that. Sincerely.
Next week. Now, I believe it is Jackie. You're saying that you believe it could be Denise. How about we have them both on?
No, separate weeks because I know we spoke to Denise about having her on.
We spoke to Jackie as well.
Okay, so let's do Jackie next week and Denise the following week.
We can have them both.
Oh no, you know what? We should have Denise next week because she said, remember it was a fundraiser that she's going to promote and stuff. So next week, Jackie Power and Denise Grant in studio.
Yeah, if we're talking about politics, let's talk about politics, get people fired up, get them engaged, etc.
But they're running for a completely different thing. Jackie Power is running for a judge. That is absolutely critical. You have to have judges that look like us because it makes a humongous difference.
Humongous difference.
Difference.
Now, a lot of the time, Sean Farquharson, when you say stuff, I just kind of have to laugh it off, but Sean says that's why Cheeto Man I try to get rid of we immigrants. And I want, most of the time you say stuff and I actually agree with you, even though it's said in a funny way. But I agree with you. I think they are the Anglo community is feeling like a minority. There are some people in the Anglo community who feel like minority, blah blah blah. And Mr. Cheeto is trying to push out immigrants. We gotta rise up, guys.
Yeah,
Vote.
All right.
So
this was fabulous.
it was fabulous.
We are going. We'll see you all next week Tuesday right here on Island Origins Live. Jamaicans.com Live. Sexy Man, Calibe Thompson, and this evening's special guest, Joe.
Just Joe. Powell, apparently.
Yeah, I don't know.
Let's all do auto ballots and have a group ballot competition. I
Let's
like
go.
that. Who can sign up the most people? Alright. Love you guys. See you next week. Alright, we're gonna do this.
Peace.
Ratchet way
And
up.
if you're still on, you can actually, I'm going to go on another live in 30 minutes. So you can watch Nikki Lopez Creative Live. She's interviewing me. Bye.